Hey, it's MJ from the Selling the ATL Studios, and we are going to talk about sales killer number 5 today. Can you believe we're already on number 5? So in order to talk about this particular sales killer, I want to tell you a quick story to kind of drive home the point to this so that you really see what I'm talking about. And that is about 3 years ago, a guy called me up, and he had just looked at my Zillow review site, and he said that he wanted me to help him find a home. Catch was he was in the Army. He wasn't getting out for 6 more months. And so we talked about it a little bit and decided there was really no reason to look at any houses right now because any of the houses that were on the market now likely would not be on the market when he was ready in 6 months. So we just didn't go look at any houses then. But in the meantime, we got him set up with a lender, and they went through the whole process. So that way, in that 6 months, when he got out, he could come back home and buy a house and then move on. Well, he went within that 6 months, he met a girl, and she was not getting out in 6 months. So 6 months turned into a year, turned into a year and a half, turned into 2 years, turned into almost 3 years. Now, during that time, I had spoken to him or emailed him at least once a month the whole entire time. And finally, when they moved back, he called me up one day out of the blue and said, "Hey, I want to go see this house that I just drove by. I really like it. Can you come meet me?" Well, unfortunately, I already had an appointment, so I couldn't meet him right then. And we scheduled the next day so that when he was on his way home from work, I would just meet him there. And when I left the next day, I gave him a call just to confirm, make sure we were still on, that he still wanted to see the house. And he said, "Oh, never mind." I called the other agent that was on the sign, and they went ahead and showed the house. We really liked it, so we put an offer in. So there's a couple morals to that story. The first moral belongs to me, which is I clearly at that point did not do a good enough job of expressing the value that I brought to the table. And the second moral of the story is for you, and that is that buyers will buy when they're ready, not a minute sooner, not a minute later. And that leads me to sales killer number 5, which is having restrictive time frames and conditions on seeing your house when it's on the market. And what I mean by that is if you have conditions on your house that they can only see on certain days, or they can only see it at certain times of the day, that is restricting the times and the conditions that people can get into your house. Like I said, buyers will buy when they're ready, not a minute sooner, not a minute later. When they're looking for a house, many times they're ready to buy the house right then. And if your house is not available because of restrictive times or conditions, they're not going to see it, and you've lost the opportunity from that buyer to buy your house. So I know that it's inconvenient because sometimes they'll call up 10 minutes before or 15 minutes before, and they want to see the house because they're driving through the neighborhood and they didn't see it on the web when they were looking. They just saw your sign and they decided that they wanted to stop by and look. Or they'll call the night before and say they want to see it from 11 o'clock to noon, and it might not be convenient for you, but you really have to make those times because if you miss those opportunities, you may be missing a sale, and that could be one of the things that led your home not selling the last time, and it would be the thing that could keep your home from selling this time too. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, I know it's inconvenient, but it could be the difference in selling your house or not selling your house. And so that's sales killer number 5, which is restrictive time frames and conditions. You want to make sure that you have the most open time frames and conditions of anyone else on the market so that people can come see your house. We'll be talking about sales killer number 6 coming up in a few. Keep an eye out for it. This is MJ from Selling the ATL, and I'm out.